Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Sybil with All Things for Beauty. Today we're going to talk about a few little things that you can check to see either if you actually have self-love or someone around you. If you don't, like me personally, I try to avoid people who doesn't have any type of self-love because usually um if they can't love themselves, they won't love me either. So the little things that I usually pay attention is when someone think that time going to wait for them before change happen. They will tell you, well, I don't have the time now. And you look at it, they have a long list of priority. It doesn't matter if you don't think you have one or if you never made one, you have a priority list, okay? And so, a lot of people that I've encountered, including myself in the past, I used to be very low down the list. Me personally, I can say I'm second in my list. God is first, and then of course my kids, husband, my little brother, so on and so forth. I have my pets. As my pets come before a lot of people, unfortunately, but it's like I want you guys to understand time not going to wait. And when I say no matter the choice that you guys are making, remain intentional about the future. Because the things that we may decide to do today that may profit us today, that doesn't mean in the long run it's not going to be our downfall. That's just life, period. And time not going to wait. A lot of the time we think that obesity have to do with physical health only. No, a lot of the time obesity is caused by trauma, by something that trigger you to that for you to be emotionally unhealthy or mentally unhealthy, and then you cope with food or you cope with something else. And I feel like just going on a diet will be temporary result, will not cure it, because a lot of the time you lose the weight and then after that you'll gain it again, because losing weight is easy. It's keeping the weight off that's hard, because after you lose the weight, when you go back and revert to your old self, of course you're gonna go back to what you used to know. It's like, okay, you did all this time for nothing. You spend the money for nothing. It's like you waste time, you waste your money, and you hurting yourself more than when you were already in a state of obesity, because now you going back and forth and your body doesn't know what's going on. It's like all over the place. And I always tell people, to me personally, time not going to wait. If you are going to think that time is going to wait on you for you to take care of yourself, well, a lot of the time the damage cannot be isn't reversible. So it's not like let's say okay, yes, if you have diabetes you can reverse that. If you have high blood pressure you can reverse that. But let's say you had a stroke, and there's a lot of things that can happen with stroke. Or let's say you had you had to get your one of your legs, one of your arm amputated because you have type 2 diabetes, and so on and so forth, and cholesterol, and so many different things that come with obesity. And when we look at it, it's like, oh, the person just fat. No, because it's the usually when the person is get to the obesity stage, it's because the damage is already done. That person been sick for a while. Sometimes it's a disorder, sometimes it's things that have to do with their hormones, sometimes it has to do with emotional health, and a lot of them is emotional health, and usually it's because something that was triggered. And I see a lot of people like to say, oh, it's my anxiety, it's my depression. No, it's not yours. You weren't born with it. It's not something you were born with that when you die it's going to remain. No, it's something that was triggered. It's a pattern of thoughts, of event that happened that got you to that stage. And if you retrace your step from the time it happened, for you to realize, okay, this happened, but it had nothing to do with me. A lot of the time when when we come here, what we decide is that we pick up on things that doesn't belong to us. We pick up on things that triggers anxiety, depression, that had nothing to do with us. The pain, the hurt, because we're trying to make someone love us, but that person can't love us because that person was doesn't know how to love themselves, or that person was broken from prior to having us, and they don't know any better. So it's like we carry on that and we take it to our kids, to our grandkids, and it's like, okay. And I always see people say, well, I love my kids, I love my husband, I love this, I do that, I don't want them, I gotta be there for them. But what happened if you don't take care of yourself? You're not gonna be there regardless. And it's not that I feared of dying, or I was really like just tired of where I was. It's just that my biggest fear was dying and having my kids suffering the exact same fate that I suffered, because they will tell you, "Oh, don't talk back because you know what? That person is older than you. Like, it's okay." Or they teach you how to lie because someone did something to you, but since that person is older, well, let it go. Or let's say you don't like cream in your tea or your coffee. It's like even with in a brand new relationship, and then you'll be like you will be like, well, since it's milk, it's okay. Well, you don't like milk. Say you don't like milk. You want cream. That's like little boundaries that you start setting. Or they'll tell you, the person, an older person will do something to you, will bump into you, or will drop something, or whatever it is. They'll tell you like, oh, um they won't apologize because they're older than you. It's normal. Or they drop something and then you have to clean it up. And it's like, how does that work? Or they won't apologize not just because you're younger, but because your parents teaches you to just look at it and just walk away. And I thought like that's not fair. All they tell you, a kid cannot say they don't like this, they don't want this, because as a parent, if that's what you feel like eating, that's what they should eat also. I understand financial reason may not be able to give you the opportunity to give everything, but the same way you feel, you woke up, you feel like, oh, I want to have noodle soup, that's what I want to have. But if the next day that kid said, mommy, can I have chicken noodle soup, there's nothing wrong for you to make it if you have it, because they're kids, they have feelings just like you do. And it's a lot of things that I kind of don't understand how people do it. And they will trust anyone besides the kids. And that's one thing that make kids not trust their parents, because they'll trust everyone else before they trust their own kids. Like, or they'll stand in front of anyone and take the person's side, and then tell the kids, go sit down, you were wrong, and this and the third, not give the kids a chance to talk. And that makes us lose our voice, not to stand up for ourselves. And we carry that even to in a relationship as an adult. It's like we are not even comfortable to speak with our partners of the type of pleasure love we like, the type of things that we like, no. I remember from the get-go, my husband would tell me, I don't eat this, I don't like that. Like, I'll cook it, I'll eat it for myself, and if I didn't cook something else, he's not gonna eat it, he's gonna eat something. Or if that's what he feels like eating, he's gonna cook it, we gonna eat it, but the kid's gonna eat something else. You can't force things down kids throat and then thinking that the kid's gonna be okay. And then when they get older, they get bitter, or they become like to where no matter what you tell them, they are like rebellious towards you, and you thinking that, oh, what did you do, what happened, you are rude, and this and the third. No, we did that to them. And that was the reason why I was like, if I could have just one more day to be able to teach my kids how not to do this, how not to do that. And that one more day became a month, a week, a year. And now this is my third year, and I'm comfortable in my skin, in my 200 pound. However, I can't wait to see myself at 175 and looking fabulous, because I have a lot that I want to do, I want to accomplish, and I don't want to die prematurely. I understand that it may not be for everyone, but that's for me. And when a lot of people ask, what was the reason? How did I remain consistent? I just want to have one extra day with my kids, one extra day